our first year representing the dispatchers here at the Family Fest, and we're just sitting here with the police department. I didn't say before that we're located actually at the Spencer Police Department. You can't see us, we're in a back building, but that's where we are, and it's been fun to come out and tell people what we do and see all the kids and make sure they know their addresses. So it's been such a good time to be here. We're in the communications center and we answer phone calls on a police line, a sheriff's office line, as well as 911 calls. We answer Crime Stoppers as well as any alarm company calls. We determine who to give the call to based on what type of call it is, whether it's medical, police, or fire. We also do that by location, so your address is very important to know when you're calling the police department and 911. So we dispatch for both the City of Spencer and the Sheriff's Office, and when you call the police department or the Sheriff's Office and you give us your address, that helps us to determine who to send to you. If you live in the City of Spencer, you'll get a police department officer. If you live out in the county, then you'll get a sheriff's deputy. If it's a medical emergency, we'll also send the fire department to you based off of where you live, what's closest to you, and which jurisdiction you fall under. We do have a trooper station here called Post 6. They have their own dispatch center, but we can get a hold of them. We go through another agency in Storm Lake to get a hold of them. If we were to need them for anything, they'll come and help us. Whenever anyone calls into our agency and our communications center, we immediately make a complaint up. That way, on that complaint, we have a digital log of anything that's gone on with the call. We'll determine where that person's at and what agency to send to them, and we'll log anything that the caller may have said to us, as well as whatever the responding agency is doing on that call. Whenever the officer goes on scene, we'll log that. We will log, as well as the fire departments or anything like that. We'll check to see if someone has any wants or warrants on the call. If something has been stolen, we enter things into the national database, whether it's a gun or a license plate, stolen vehicles. So we'll do registration checks of vehicles and just really anything that has to do with that call, we keep a record of that forever. A complaint is just what we call it here. It's a record or a call for service. And those are kept in a number of ways. We can look them up. So if you called maybe 10 years ago and we have a digital record of that, we can look that up by address or by your name or by, there's a number of different ways that we use as dispatchers to look something up for you as well as for the officers. So if you were to need some sort of call for service and you lived in the City of Spencer, you could come to the police department in the lobby and request that record. The chief of police is the one who decides who gets what information. Likely you will not get any information that's confidential about someone else. We get notifications from the National Weather Service, and we are the ones that send out what we call it the WENS. And what it is it's maybe you've signed up to get a text message telling you we've got a thunderstorm coming or a tornado coming. We're the people that set off the sirens also. So using that system is just part of our job. Things that would qualify for 911 would be if someone's injured, if you've been in any sort of traffic accident, that would qualify for 911. If you need help now, that's what we want to call 911 for. If it's something that is just maybe you have a question or you would like to be connected to the emergency room, you don't call 911 for that. The regular line you would also call if maybe we get a lot of scam calls. So people will call us and say, oh, I've got this person that keeps contacting me. They said they're going to have a warrant for my arrest if I don't call and get my warrant taken care of. That's scam. You could use the general police line for that. Any complaints of like finding a dog or, you know, your neighbor's just really upsetting you, then you want to call the non-emergent line. An accident with no injuries is definitely something you could call 911 for. It happens quite often, and that's okay. But it's generally, if it's not emergent, no one's hurt, or you just hit a deer, you could use the non-emergent line. The non-emergent line for the police department is 712-262-2151. And for the sheriff's office, it's 712-262-3221. After hours at the sheriff's office, that will come to us in the communications center. Our job is a 24-hour, 7 days a week service. We work all kinds of hours. There's, I think, 9 of us in there that rotate shifts. We work nights, we work weekends, we work holidays. When the weather's bad, we're also expected to be at work. I have been a dispatcher. It'll be 6 years in May. And I applied to be a dispatcher because I really was looking to do something I felt rewarded in. I did not have a college degree, and I wanted to help people. I also am related to someone on the police department. My father-in-law is a lieutenant, and he kind of gave me the confidence to apply, and I've been there ever since. To apply to be a dispatcher, you just have to have a high school diploma or equal, a GED. And when you apply and you're granted an interview and you get hired, you will have to go to a 40-hour school through the state, as well as a couple of different training periods. I think there's a 3-day school that you can also attend. And that's just to help learn the different ins and outs of this job. It's very different from any job you would ever have. You have to be able to multitask. You have to be calm. You have to be able to speak clearly and hear well. It's just very important to be passionate about the safety of the citizens and of your officers. It's a great job. I love this job. It's very hard, but it's also very rewarding. You were to call 911 in a medical emergency, we'll determine if it requires immediate assistance, which would be, as we say, lights and sirens. If it does and someone's not breathing, we are all CPR certified, so we can help you through that. Other things like, gunshot wounds, or someone's been cut very deeply, we can give you our best advice as human beings, but we don't have any special certifications to give professional medical advice. It's more of a Good Samaritan type thing. When you call 911, the most important thing to know is your location, so that way we can get help to you just as soon as possible. If you know nothing else, please try to tell us your location. We do have the ability to plot the call. It plots off of a tower and it is in the vicinity of where you are. Sometimes it's not quick enough, so know your locations. That's so important. If it's something else that's maybe not emergent or less stressful, then location, your name, kind of give us what's going on right now. Again, 911 is for something that's happening right now. And we definitely want you to try to be calm when you call, but I can't stress enough that location is so, so important to know your location. So if you want to call 911 an emergency, that's there. If it's non-emergent, you can call either one of those non-emergency lines. If you want to remain anonymous and you're seeing some sort of crime, or you're worried, you want to check someone's welfare but not leave your information, you can go and text us through a text-a-tip. We'll get that, and you don't have to leave any information. There's other ways to contact us also. I know that on iPhones, if you say Siri 14, don't try it, but that will dial 911 for you if you have an iPhone. And we get a lot of those calls too. A lot of watches call also. You can also text 911. We have the ability to answer texts on 911. So that's kind of a big deal too. And again, we do have a Crime Stoppers line that you can call and remain anonymous on that one as well. If you have something that you want to talk to law enforcement about and you don't want to call, or it's easier just to stop by, you can always come to the police department in the front building. There's a lobby. If no one's there, you push the button and you'll get the communication center and we'll get someone to you. If you are living in the county and have a complaint or a concern, then you can just go out there. There's 2 secretaries there through the week, and if not, give us a call. We'll get some help sent out to you. I think some people also think when they call 911 or text 911 that it goes to this giant call center in the sky, and it doesn't. It's based off of where you are. So say you're calling 911 at your house in Spencer, but the emergency is in Milford, you're not automatically going to get Milford PD. You're going to get Spencer. So, it comes to us. I think some people are amazed that it's local and it's not just some big giant place in the middle of the United States. I think another thing that people might do is say, if you're not good or if you don't behave, then we're going to call 911, and we never want anybody to be scared of us because we're here to help. So I've explained that a couple of times today as, you want your kids and you want your loved ones to know that we're always there to help them and not to threaten to call 911 when it's really not an emergency. Sometimes too we'll get kids that accidentally call 911 and maybe get in trouble for that, and that's okay. We just want to talk to mom and dad if that happens and just make sure they know that we're there to help, not say never call 911 or if you're misbehaving, I'm going to call 911. That shouldn't be a thing. So just know that as dispatchers, we're always here to help. We're going to do our very best to try to find you an answer if you have a question and find a way when it doesn't seem like there's a way. Sometimes we're very busy and we'll tell you to hold on. Just hold. We'll get back to you. I think just something to know if you're looking for a good career, that you don't have a degree, but you really want to help people, and that you're great at multitasking. You have a passion for maybe being involved in law enforcement, but don't want to risk your own life. This is such a rewarding career, and you should come and check it out.